Hello, and welcome to SpaceEngine Exploration, episode 100. 100 episodes, all ranging somewhere around an hour long, give or take. It's been a very long series that has started with, well, me literally just downloading SpaceEngine, jumping in, and seeing what I can find exploring the game. And then people like you guys started throwing suggestions at me, and I didn't expect that at all. I literally just made an episode for the heck of it, just viewing random planets that I can find, and checking out different nearby galaxies and stuff like that. But it evolved into thousands of user suggestions that I visited on a near weekly basis. Used to be a daily basis, but that's kind of degraded over time as I've gotten more busy and as I've put a lot more editing and work into my videos for the ones that I do make. And recent weeks have been particularly hard on me, and that is why I have to kind of end this series short. Well, you could say end the series short, but it's been 100 episodes. That's a really good milestone. 100 episodes is crazy. Or something that I didn't think would go anywhere, because, well, I didn't even want to make a series on it originally. It just kind of turned into that, but yeah, very cool. Just very cool. So thank you guys for all the suggestions you've made. Now, I'm not going to say this is the official end of the series, but it is the end of the series for now. Currently I am on version 0.9.8.0, which I've been on since the start of the series. That means I've done 100 episodes on this version of SpaceEngine down here. And the game gets a little bit mundane. You start seeing the same things over and over again. Like when you go to a planet, they don't really generate too differently. Like you have your planets, which all generate based on a seed, which generates unique terrain for every single planet. No two planets are the same, from what I'm aware, but they have similar traits. Your parameters for the atmosphere, the weather, the clouds, which generate in I think 3 different varieties, 3 or 4, for terrestrial worlds anyways. And then you have your standard textures, which, I say standard. Standard means that I've seen it before, it's repeating. You got your canyons, as you see here, or no, these are mountains. And all the mountains look very similar. This is a desert, so they're going to generate these similar looking mountains. And then, like on Terra planets, you have, well, you got the rounded mountains, you got eroded mountains, and yeah. These ice worlds, they all look similar. You got like this pinkish texture, blue, and cracks, disco craters. Like, once you've seen what the game can generate, you've basically seen it all, is what I'm trying to say. They all start to look similar. How many colors the game can generate per planet and all that kind of stuff. Probably well over 100 blue gas giants that look very similar to this one, even though the rings are randomly generated, and it just all looks the same. So that's why I'm excited for the new version of SpaceEngine, which hopefully, fingers crossed, because I've been waiting for a new version of SpaceEngine for ages. 0.9.9.0 is the version that was recently featured on the SpaceEngine YouTube channel. And I am incredibly excited for that version because it has a lot of new textures, new ways to record, new ways to do a lot of things. And it's got so many features. You got like volumetric nebulas that look really cool, a lot of new shader effects, and let's go ahead and touch down on the ground real quick. See this texture here? This is really stretched, and those are some really big mountains. The scale of a human would be an ant even at this size, pretty much. So it's very stretched, the textures are. They're incredibly large in this game. Well, apparently in the new version of SpaceEngine, they're going to be like a 1-to-1 scale with like, well, as if you were standing on the surface of the planet, so Rather than this looking like cracked dirt as if you looked at the ground, if you land right here, you're going to see that texture, but much smaller. So it's going to be scaled and not stretch as much. So that's going to be very cool. There's also a lot of new terrain generation, which I am excited for, including the recent complaints I had about rivers and the way they look. They're actually going to properly dig into the terrain and mountains, and the terrain's going to be built around the rivers too. So it's a really cool feature, rather than the river just cutting through everything. So, very nice. I assume there's a lot of bug fixes too, like the volcanoes and stuff like that, but I wouldn't know. I haven't really followed the change logs or anything that close. But one other thing I'd like to say is another reason why I'm ending the series is because I'm getting a massive internet downgrade down to like 3 megabits per second upload, and I'm recording this video in 60 FPS right now, but I'm mainly doing that purely for the fact that this is the 100th episode, and it's something to kind of celebrate. But uploading videos already takes me incredibly long at the rates I have right now, but to get downgraded to 3 megabits per second upload, a video like this would take me probably 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours to upload. So it's pretty annoying, but it's something I kind of gotta live with because, well, my ISP sucks, I guess. But without further delay, let's go ahead and start getting to some suggestions. I found a feature in OBS called Noise Gate, and I discovered what it did. What it does is it has like a minimum volume before it actually triggers the audio to start recording. And I wish I found this feature like 100 episodes ago. This is suggested by Derp Sauce Gaming. But yeah, this was a feature that I wish I knew about like 100 episodes ago, because what it is it's like a feature that has like a minimum noise. So let's say I'm breathing into the microphone, which I was just doing right now. I have a pop filter, of course, but that was not being picked up at all. So something like a chair squeak in the background does not pick up in the mic. It doesn't set off the mic. Only my voice does, or any loud noises. So there's like a minimum tolerance of noise before it starts triggering the microphone, which is really cool. Helps to get rid of those chair squeaks and random breathing and all that kind of stuff. So it says go to it last after all the other suggestions. I don't do things in order. This is the first planet that I went to, besides Earth, in the series. And if the comment cuts off after "and if," I guess that's the bug where things are being... I don't know. It just cut the comment off after "and if." So, yeah. This is an Oceania that I visited in the Orion Nebula, as you can see behind me here. I memorized the star that it was orbiting around because it's one of the brighter ones in the system, just hanging out at the corner here. It's completely randomly generated, but I really liked the way this planet looked when I first started the series, because it was an Oceania, but it had like a large moon, which is uncommon for planets to have like a large moon, but it also had these really cool rings. Now, I didn't really see much in SpaceEngine because that was like the first episode. That was when I was learning how to basically just use the controls in SpaceEngine. I was literally just saying things like how to play the game and what's in the game. I wasn't really expecting to make a series out of this, but it kind of became that. And yeah, I found this planet to be very cool, even though today I would say it's an Oceania and there's nowhere to really land on it or anything like that. But it's got an absolutely awesome view in the sky here. You got like the Flame Nebula over there. We're in the Orion Nebula. You can see Barnard's Loop around us, and that's just very cool. Somewhere around here, probably towards the sun. Let's go ahead and just shift H real quick. wherever the sun might be. We should be able to find Betelgeuse. Is that it? That's not it. Oh, that's a planet next year. So, the sun... Oh. Oops. Oh, my bad. Let's go ahead and fly away from the sun, so we aren't just sitting here on a white screen. Apparently flying into the sun. How do I get out of here? Okay, I'm apparently flying away from it. There we go. Okay, get away from the sun. Did I crash the game? It wants to crash. It's definitely trying to. Oh, I had my field of view increased. Or decreased. Where was Barnard's? Ah, there it is. Yeah, you can find Betelgeuse right here. It's a big orange, well, red giant. It's not quite at Barnard's Loop. It's somewhere roughly 650 light years away from Earth. So it's still a decent distance away from like the Orion Nebula. It's somewhere between us and the Orion Nebula. He's right there. So pretty easy to find Betelgeuse. I was hoping I could see it from the Orion Nebula. Let's go ahead and fly over there real quick. Oh, so Betelgeuse, I want to say, looks a lot smaller from here than it does from the sun. So maybe it's further away from the Orion Nebula than it is from our sun. Interesting. Does that make the Orion Nebula roughly like 1,000 to 1,500 light years away from the sun? I don't really know. But let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Asking about the laptop I got, recommended me to get the HP Omen gaming laptop. I looked into that, but yeah, the laptop I had, I got a good deal on. I was trying it out, and unfortunately it doesn't run SpaceEngine. I was really hoping it would, but I guess even an i7 and a 7700M does not run SpaceEngine. I assume that's probably more to do on the GPU's part, not really so much the CPU. 77M, or yeah, 770M sounds good on paper, but it's not a really good GPU. It's more equivalent to like a GTX 750 Ti or maybe GTX 1050. But no complaints, it's a pretty fast laptop, and I can definitely do the work that I need to do on it. Like, I've drawn a lot of stuff on it. And it's good because it does get me away from my main desktop. I need to get like a decent portable mic. If anyone knows like a good USB microphone that's not like a Blue Yeti, because those things are tanks, that can like clip onto the top of like a laptop, let me know down in the comments below, because I'm looking for something that would be almost on par with this quality of microphone, which this is the ATR 2100. It does a good job, but I have to run it through XLR through a mixer. The mixer I have is not the greatest, but it gets the job done. Like, I haven't had really any complaints on the quality of my mixer, just mainly my poor managing job on that volume. Anyways, this next suggestion is from Unstoppable Wolf Official. Let's go ahead and paste this in here. Let's get rid of that space. And it's a warm desert. Cool warm desert with rings. Go into the planet viewing mode. You know, we click on the planet's orbiting stars, and the star is accompanied by a black hole. You could just hit F2, and we can see the black hole right there. Okay. I see a lot of volcanoes. Go ahead and encode this in a high bitrate as well. I know I've been doing like rather low bit rates, but I'll go ahead and just like high bitrate encode this. So, is there anything in particular you want me to visit at this planet, or was this just routing me over to the black hole in the system? Well, let's go ahead and get a nice view. Are we still in the Milky Way? We might be. No, it doesn't quite look like it. It might be the Milky Way. I could be wrong. That nice glowing volcano there too. This is so much nicer now that I got it recording on my video card rather than the CPU. The CPU is totally capable, but it does drop a few frames when you do that. I'm wondering if the 10 series from Nvidia would be faster at this, but I know they're coming out with their, I think, Volta GPUs next year, and I think I'm just going to wait until that comes out before I bother upgrading. Because my card is still holding out even though it's loud. Loud as all hell. So yeah, there we go. Now let's see if we can see that black hole. Knowing how these typically generate, it's going to be a very, very tiny black hole. Let's see. This is an orange supergiant, so that's a really expanded star. Into a black hole? I don't know. The mass of the black hole is about 13 suns, but it's still very, very tiny. Go ahead and see. We got this scorched Selena orbiting this star. I assume it was not scorched, but that expanded star is making it very, very molten. What would be the difference between a scorched Selena and a scorched desert, come to think of it? I mean, once they're molten, aren't they basically the same thing? Okay, so let's go ahead and back out and see what's orbiting around the black hole. Not as much light there. In fact, all the light that's on this planet is coming from that, not really the black hole, obviously. Hole didn't have an accretion disk, so it's not stealing mass from the star, they're just orbiting each other. There you go. The mass of the star is apparently 208 suns, which I think would put it in the class of Wolf Riot star, but this game's a little bit ridiculous about that, so that's just bizarre. So the next suggestion is from Hera Vasir Rex. And let's go ahead and copy this. Paste this in. And here we go. Full of stars. And we're in the center of a galaxy. Is a black hole visible from here? Doesn't look like it. But that is indeed a sky full of stars. In fact, I imagine it would probably look a little bit more dense than this, but I wouldn't really know. And there it is, full of stars, even during the day, because those stars are very close by and very bright. I wonder what the sky would look like if you're in the center of a galaxy, because the center of galaxies obviously are very bright. Would, like, the sky be much brighter? Would it, like, always look kind of overcasty? Like, I'm wondering if the light from these stars would kind of overpower that of that star right there. Or if it would make the sky just look different somehow. Or if it would just make the sky look different somehow. I don't really know. So let's go ahead and go to the sunset side of this planet right here, and see the many, many stars that are in the sky. There we go. Okay, so we got a pinkish glow all around the planet. There's the parenting star right there, a lovely sunset view, and a very detailed star. Found us. So I think this was the Milky Way. Might not be. Go ahead and zoom out. Oh yeah, that was a planet in the center of the Milky Way. How close was it to the black hole? Let's go ahead and go back to the planet real quick. And what I could do is I can Shift H. And now we should have the black hole pretty much in our view. Blue dot right there is the center of the Milky Way, I do believe. Go ahead and land on the planet. There it is. You can see the stars that are orbiting it, including S2, I believe. There we go. Look at that distortion. That's obviously bugged. Oh, that's cool. You can see the black hole separate from the accretion disk, perhaps? No, yeah, that's not just a moon. That is the black hole misrendered, misaligned from the accretion disk. Very cool. Let's just go ahead and go over there. Whoops. Here we go. Now we should be going over there. And there is the black hole. Very cool suggestion. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is from Oshi Jack. A random system in NGC 488. Let's go ahead and paste that in. And here we go. Well, it has this like really zoomed out. Interesting. Go ahead and hit F2. And let's go to the planet with life. Because they always seem to oddly be the priority. It's like, oh, there's a green label. Let's go to that one since it's different from the rest, I guess. Very pink planet. Tall polar caps. And a frozen volcano. Organic and multicellular life. I don't think we're gonna... Oh wait, there's some of the life texture right there. Okay, let's see if we can find some land. It's a tidally locked planet, so it's gonna be hard to see that unless we turn off the clouds. There we go. Let's go ahead and land right here. Turn those clouds back on. And it just looks like very dark purplish life. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Also looks orange over here. That reset my speed because I collided into the ground. Looks like 2 cloud layers. And let's check out the galaxy here. NGC 488, not Andromeda, but I think it is indeed using the Andromeda texture. Interesting. Is there anything else to visit around this star system here? It looks like just a gas giant. Well, it is a binary. Is this a brown dwarf? Oh, I see, okay. Here with this bizarre looking brown dwarf, it's not casting its own light really. In fact, it's purely illuminated by its sister star over there. Interesting. Yeah, that's a very cool little effect there with the cyclones. Some cool looking hurricanes or storms or whatever you want to call them, since they have that dark look. Very cool. And I assume it has a bright pink auroras like these brown dwarfs usually do, and it certainly does. Very neat. So, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion from It's Johnny Gat. A little bit of Saints Row right there. Paste this in, and here we go. A temperate Terra in the center of a galaxy. A globular cluster. I saw some distortion, so is there a black hole around here? Why did that render so weird? Let's back up. It did that distorting thing like we were next to the black hole. Makes me wonder where the black hole is in this galaxy. Or, well, I guess sub-galaxy? It's a globular cluster. No life on this planet, but let's read the description. Oh, okay. It's a Terra in a globular cluster above the Milky Way. And happy 100. Thank you very much. Yeah, what was up with that distortion? It totally did that thing like it does when you get next to a black hole and the distortion gets all like pixelated. Very odd. Yeah, I don't know why I did that, but okay. I'm trying to like get it to do it again, but I can't. Find the video and see what I was talking about. A cold Terra, sitting at -5 degrees Celsius. It has a diameter of, let's see, there it is. 7,300 kilometers, making it 57% of that of Earth. I think I could probably turn up the video quality now that I have that problem fixed. So let's just go with 0.7. That detailed it much more. So there's no life to view on this planet. We are in a globular cluster though, so we can see the stars during the day. Got a really foggy atmosphere. Makes it hard to view things at a distance. And a volcano that is so tall that it probably peaks outside of the atmosphere. And it's not active. It's all snowed inside. And now that I turned that up, it's stuttering slightly. RIP. They bugged out volcano. As I mentioned earlier, I hope that's fixed in the latest version, and maybe the volcanoes are perhaps scaled properly with the planets, maybe? I wouldn't really know. It'd be cool if they generated. They just kind of generate with like a spacing right now. That would be really cool if they somehow generated with like the tectonic plates or something like that of the planet. That'd be really awesome. But I don't think that's going to be the next version of the game. Let's go ahead and check out the sunset on this planet. Probably going to be very Earth-like. And it kind of is. Not as red. A lot more orange in it, I assume, just because of the white atmosphere. But, neat suggestion nonetheless. And a beautiful view of this globular cluster. Let's go ahead and fly to the center of it. And get an idea of how far we are from the center, because it looks like we're in that general area. Alright, here we go. We should go straight to the black hole. We open up the suggestion, we are like half a light year away from it. So if we turn around, the black hole's right there. And that's probably why it did that weird distorting effect. Yeah, it's somewhere. It's one of those. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Namikaze, which is 74 Aquari, if I pronounce that correctly. Aquari? I don't really know. Oh, it'd be AQU, I think? AQ? Ah, there it is. AQR. It's abbreviated. And it's a blue subgiant. It is a catalog star, so not too sure what can go, like, right around it. These are all randomly generated planets. I don't think they are, anyway, like, found via telescopes or cataloged in any way. This planet has a crazy greenhouse effect, I do believe. Yeah, it certainly does. You can see it's 501 degrees greenhouse effect. Kind of confused me because it's heated up. I was thinking that might have been like a binary with like some tidal friction or something like that. But no, it's just a crazy greenhouse effect that makes it much warmer than even this planet right here that's sitting at negative 121 degrees. Interesting. Can we view the albedo of the planet? Yeah, we can. But, I guess water would have a high albedo. It's kind of a dark thing. It wouldn't absorb the heat. It's not really reflective. If it was snow covered, it would have a low albedo because, well, it's white, and that would reflect a lot of the light and kind of accelerate the freezing process, I guess. Neat suggestion. And the clouds look purple on this planet because of the mix of the blue and red. Cool. Let's see, the next suggestion is from first name, last name. Hopefully I am talking loud enough to trigger the microphone. It looks like I am in OBS, just kind of double checking that. I guess we're going to the B variant of this planet. Class 128b. It's an amazing planet orbiting an inactive red dwarf. As it's a red dwarf, and that is a red dwarf, which has a very high chance of life. People discovered infrared signals emitting from it, making it possible. It's people with technology there. Oh, well, what just happened? Never mind. Go back to the star. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the spectrum of light we've pinged off this star here, or at least the planet anyways, which I assume this would be B right here, this warm desert. I don't think any chance of life would be on this, but infrared signals emitting from it, making it possible with its people with technology there. Okay, well, this planet right here is way too close to that star for me to imagine that. But well, it clearly doesn't have life in this game, so it's not like manually placed. In fact, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but the B variant of that star is not here. I don't think the star you're talking about is even in the game, because if it's the B variant of the star, then wouldn't this be a binary system? Not too sure, but this is the planet closest to what your suggestion is. And I don't think there's any way this would have life. It's just way too close to that red dwarf there. But I guess you said it's an inactive red dwarf, so maybe it's not pelting this planet here with tons of solar winds and radiation and crazy stuff that would prevent life from basically prevailing on this planet. Not sure. But, yeah, I don't think the planet in particular, or at least the star in particular, is in the game, unless this is it. Because this is 1, which would be, I guess, no, that would be A, unless the star is counted as A, which that's normally how it goes. So maybe this second planet over here, this cool Oceania, well, plain and simple, it doesn't have life in the game. It's tidally locked too with the star. But this one's at a more reasonable distance. Sitting at negative 29 degrees Celsius. If this was like a Terra with a high albedo and it was warm, then I could see that. Maybe a greenhouse effect. That'd make a little bit more sense, being quite a bit further away from the star. Sitting at a distance of, let's see. That's how far I am from the, whoops. 7 major axis. Okay, so 4.7 million kilometers away from the red dwarf here, which red dwarfs are really small stars. So yeah, this would make a lot more sense than this one, which is just way too close for me to imagine. And then everything else is just a bunch of gas giants, with the exception of these 2 ice worlds here. Not too sure. Am I at the right suggestion? Let me know. The next suggestion is from Night of Time Space. Let me go ahead and try to get this copied here. There we go, and here we go. Moon of a gas giant with dark rings illuminated by a white dwarf. And regions are super easy to tell apart from. Click read more on this comment from space. Oh, okay. It has 3 major climate regions that are super easy to tell from even from space. There is a rocky, sandy polar desert, the icy/salty equator, highlands, with a canyon system, scattering about with small purple bushes in them, and the lowlands, which are inhabited by black, dark, and blue purple plants. Okay, so I think this is the desert region, unless this is like a snowy plains here. Let's see. Okay, so this is the deserty region. Oh, and we have a binary star system. Yeah, there's the white dwarf. Okay. Giving us a lot of color on the planet, even though the white dwarf... No, the white dwarf's not brighter. But it does have an accretion disk, which is pretty cool. Oh, what's this? Is this a canyon system? That's pretty cool looking. So there's the desert region you were talking about. Maybe that's a snowy region right there, or is this just more desert? Oh, there's a snowy. No, that's desert. Where's the snowy region? Could it be on the other side of the planet? Let's see where the equator's at. Okay, so I am looking at the equator. Oh, okay. Those 2 stars are orbiting each other, changing the lighting. Pretty cool. Okay, well, the lights are off. Snow? No, that's just more desert. There we go. See snowy mountains. Yeah, snow would look like that. Where is snow? I guess just this region, perhaps? That's looking a bit more like snow. Okay, that might be snow. It's just using the wind and sand texture as like the bump mapping for it, perhaps. Yeah, this looks like snow. Oh, the view's all messed up. If that wasn't snow over there, this is definitely snow. So I found a snowy region finally. And he said at the bottom of some canyons there was some purple bushes. See some pointy eroded mountains covered in the purple life. And I assume maybe those canyons that I was at was the ones you were talking about. I was in the desert region, but I don't think I'm gonna find it, so... Okay, there's the parenting gas giant. Let's go ahead and just land on this planet once my game restarts, and we will check out the stars. Alright, on our way back to that planet, let's go ahead and see what's going on with these two stars here. Because that's an interesting little system going on. Let's just go ahead and hit play and kind of watch what's happening. So that says enough. That white dwarf is much brighter than that star. Very cool. And let's go ahead and just fly over to the white dwarf, just to get a nice view of it. And there's the star right there. Very neat. And if we go ahead and turn down the exposure, we can see the accretion disk of that matter that it's stealing away from its sister star over there. Pretty cool. And there's the sister star, very dim in the background, as our exposure is way down. And even then, that accretion disk still looks very bright. But flip this back on, and there's the other star. So let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Nathan Universe, the Space Nerd. Let's go ahead and paste this in. And here we go. A purple galaxy, and that's a very cool looking planet. Let's go ahead and read the description. It is a pink and orange planet with life, but it has stripes, just like a gas giant. It's orange and pink because it's around 2 stars. My game crashed while writing this, so... so, that gives me an idea of how stable the game is. Not at all. My game crashed just before the suggestion. Okay, so we got this cool desert here with very vibrant purple life, not dark purple. Grass texture, bit of an orange atmosphere. Got this star illuminating it from this side. We have that star illuminating it from this side, making it look much more red. But very cool. And I assume the true night sky is probably right here. So there's the kind of polarized sides of these planets. And if we go ahead and hit play, we can see how the lighting kind of changes throughout the year. But it seems like there is always a night sky somewhere on the planet. It's a stripes that he was talking about. Very cool. Okay, blinking. Blinking is not good. We don't want blinking in the video. Flashing, not good. Got a very saturated purple life on this volcano here, in comparison to what's down here, which is looking a bit darker. There's 1 star. Let's see if we can land somewhere where 2 stars are illuminating the sky, which would be right here. There we go. Orange and white mountains, rock faces. Very neat. And let's go ahead and just check out the galaxy we're in, which was this purple galaxy. Let's go ahead and increase our speed. Very cool. This is a uncommon galaxy texture. Wonder if it's exclusive to this galaxy right here. I feel like I've seen it before, but possibly not. It might just be what that galaxy actually looks like, perhaps? I don't know. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Mr. Star Wars. Ink, it's everywhere. Get rid of that question mark. And here we go. Can confirm, pink is everywhere. Bit of a jump cut there. Okay, so pink, it's everywhere. Got this pink nebula we're in. We got a space potato. Let's go ahead and land on this colorful Terra here. Looks like a mountain system, but it has multiple layers. As you can see, you got these flat areas. It's supposed to like suggest maybe there was a bunch of water that was up here, perhaps. Don't really know. Then it dropped in altitude. I don't see any water. Is there oceans? Not seeing oceans. I'm certainly seeing cyclones. I know I don't have water disabled. Yeah, I don't have water disabled. Got very bright cyclones. Saw water under the trains, so that was the water level at least. There's a volcano that kind of spewed out that side, I guess. Interesting. Not active though. It's got a bunch of plant life inside of it too. Got a crater here. No water inside of it. It's Terra, but I'm not seeing water yet. Just seeing space potatoes, really. Ah, there's some water. Of course it's in a crater. And it's pretty deep in the crater as well. And there's even more pink. That's an interesting detail. It's using like the canyon, ravine texture, or I guess generation on the side of this hill. So that makes me think maybe that's altitude based. For some like very odd terrain though. Interesting like erosion effect. Yeah, maybe that's altitude based. I don't know. There's more of it right here, so maybe it just, the crater like generated beforehand maybe, and then this generated on top. That would make a little bit more sense. Very cool, and very pink. Go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from D. Barreau. No description. Oh, that worked with the question mark. Interesting. Okay, we got a star. It's an orange dwarf in a cloud of some kind. Any planets? We got this one right here, or Oceania. Totally locked with the parenting star. Are we in some kind of dark nebula? Find out in just a minute. Not seeing any polar caps. Well, I guess that would make sense. It's 78 degrees Celsius. Nothing really to view here. Got this Selena here. Gas giant with a red atmosphere and one with a white atmosphere. This one's like a redder gas giant. And over here is a much warmer one with, actually it's kind of a purplish looking gas giant. So what's going on? Where are we? Why am I seeing thick clouds everywhere? Okay. We are in a galactic collision. That explains the clipping. We're in this spiral galaxy here and an irregular galaxy. Very cool. That makes that look incredibly weird. Look at that. Interstellar dust just looks odd. clouds everywhere. I imagine it would be glowing like crazy in many different patches all around this galaxy due to the collision. All that interstellar dust would be colliding with each other, and it'd probably be a huge star nursery pretty much. Just a bunch of new stars forming like crazy here due to this collision. Okay. Let me go ahead and scroll up here and find the next suggestion. This next one is from Dewdrop Drinker, and it is a Titan moon with life. Get rid of that question mark. Titan with life. There's a dark nebula over there. It's a little bit illuminated. A pinkish galaxy. Oh, we're in the we're above the small Magellanic Cloud. Galaxy that I go to very often, in fact. Normally it's the large Magellanic Cloud, which is right over there. And there's that Wolverine star. Anyway, Milky Way galaxy. Let's see, let's go ahead and touch down on here. And finally, turn on real planet brightness. Which I have not done in this episode yet. There we go. Got the purple galaxy sitting above us. We can see the edge of the Milky Way from here. The saw blade edge of that galaxy, spiral galaxy. There's the large Magellanic Cloud. So we got this view of like 3 galaxies. Very awesome. Right here in this dark Titan sky, even when the sun or the parenting star is beaming down on it. Let's go ahead and fly around here and find some terrain to land on the nighttime side. Ah, there we go. That'll work. There's Milky Way, blue tinted. The atmosphere. There is the small Magellanic Cloud. And the large one, which you can see the bar of it. Very cool. So this is a moon. Oh, I didn't even notice. Well, I did kind of notice. I did read it. It has life, but I have not seen it yet. It right there. Maybe we got some blue glowing. It could be the life. Bioluminescence, perhaps? Don't know. Ah, is that the parenting planet? That might be. Yeah, it could be the life. Could just be like a... Oh, it's exotic unicellular, so maybe it is bioluminescence. It's very bright blue. Which generates on the shorelines, so... Yeah, I think that glowing blue is our life. Very cool. So, where is the hosting planet here? Yeah, that's a binary between 2 frozen titans. This one doesn't have life, though. And there's Milky Way in the background. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. The next one is from Jacob Plays. He posted 2 suggestions, but I'm only going to visit one of them. A warm tear with life around a gas giant. It is tidally locked, and that's all I have to say, really. Alright, let's go ahead and visit. Okay, well, that ID's not working. Now, the next one's in the same system. Let's see if I can go to the system. No. Gotta try pasting this next ID. Let's try that. Well, I tried to visit it, but it's just not working. Yeah, okay, well, the ID's not working, so don't really know what to say. The next one is from Josh Frank, and hopefully this ID works, and it does. It's a tempered terror with life. Looked like it was in the Black Eye Galaxy. It's a tempered terror with life that is really close to, or it has a really close moon, and a comet near it. Plus, it's a trinary system. And has a reasonable rotation rate. And solar, and it kind of ended there. Yeah, the comet cut off. Why would it be doing that? I'm not running like custom themes or anything like that. YouTube comments just cut off for me. There's no read more option or anything like that. That's just bizarre. So, again, if anyone has any ideas on that, please do leave it down in the comments below so I can hopefully fix that. We have tree textures. There is our... I don't think this is a moon. I'm pretty sure we got a binary system here. And let's see. So around the volcano, we can see the tree texture. Let's see if we can get the planet there to kind of eclipse the stars slightly. Not really happening. Oh, we're gonna get our eclipse, so. Slow down a little. A little bit too fast. Let's see if we can eclipse that planet. There we go. So eclipses once a day. That'd be so cool if we're in a binary system that just eclipses each other once a day. Also, it'd get very oddly cold midway through the day, but nonetheless, that's very cool. And here it goes, ready to eclipse us. Right now. There we go. Very neat. And you said there was a comet in the system. Let's see if we can see that. Oh, there's a shadow casting on our planet. Very neat. Okay, so the comet in the system. I assume that's a yearly thing. Let's go ahead and just reset time. There it is. Let's see if we can view the comet. Okay, so after a bit of fumbling, I did find the comet. After letting it cycle a few more times. And we're in a trinary system, so let's go ahead and see if we can view that. There is these two stars, which are orbiting each other, very close proximity. And we have that star there. I think, yeah, two of the stars have life around them. So let's go ahead and go to this one and view this other planet that has life really quickly. So we have an orange planet here. Very few clouds, I assume because there's very little ocean, but it's still enough to generate cyclones, interestingly enough. Temperature is 27 degrees Celsius, which is probably the explanation for these cyclones be forming. But I imagine once that hits landfall, it's not going to last very long. But as the game goes, it's going to orbit the planet entirely because, well, it's just part of the cloud layer in the game. There's nothing really too special about them. They don't really fade in and out or anything like that. Or gravitate near the oceans or whatever. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we have a suggestion here from Andromeda. Great to see that you made it into episode 100. Definitely a long-time viewer who's been around since basically the beginning of the channel. Okay, what's going on here? Globular cluster in the center of a galaxy. Are these planemos? No, it's a planet. That's a parenting star. Okay, so they're really dim. Okay, so that's a gas giant. Go ahead and flick this on. Oh, wait, no. There we go. Wait, I want to see that again. We got something going on over there. We'll check that out in a second. Okay, so that doesn't really change anything. What's that? Oh, you're a galaxy in the far background. Okay. And I was sent to this moon. Full desert. Visible 3 stars. Visible 3 stars. Oh. Is it a trinary system like the last one we just viewed? Or, because, I mean, there's way more than 3 stars, obviously. Not too sure. So we got this cold desert here, sitting at negative 224 degrees Celsius. Wow, that's actually a really cold desert. I guess that explains why it was so dark, too. It's just so far away from that parenting star, and there's not really much of a greenhouse effect going on, even though it does have an atmosphere. Wait, that was the temperature of the gas giant over there. The desert itself is 95 degrees Celsius. It does have an atmosphere. Okay. CO2, methane. Okay, so 3 stars. Okay, and there's 1, 2... bunch of planets orbiting that one. I see 2 stars. A and B. The other star is way out here. Interesting. So this one wasn't really casting much light on the desert, I don't think. I don't know where the 3rd star is that you're talking about, though. There's these 2 stars. These are the binary. And, well, there's a lot of stars in close proximity, but we are in a globular cluster, I think. Or at least right next to one, so... yeah, not too sure. I'm gonna touch back down on this desert, though. Wow, that is a very cool view. There we go. That is beautiful. Go ahead and just tilt the screen slightly, because for some reason I like tilting the screen. Yeah, very neat view. Okay, so the next and final suggestion for this episode is from Spaceboy. It says go to Kepler 452b. I'm gonna get rid of that. 452b. Oh, it's a Temperatura. I assume some kind of super Earth. Diameter of 20,000 kilometers, so 1.6 times the size of Earth. But then again, I don't have real planet brightness enabled. No, but that star would definitely be illuminating it. You know what's cool is, since I'm using the voice activation thing, the noise gate, the clicking from my mouse should, in theory, not be picking up nearly as much. That's a cool thing. Keyboard's still going to be picking up, but I mean, brown switches, so pretty quiet. We're not really vibrant, but bright rings in the background. Though there's no description for this planet, so I don't really know what to visit. It is a Terra, though. No life. And some lovely roaded hills, and a giant ring just kind of cresting the hill over there. Or, well, the, horizon, anyways. And just a very bright atmosphere. Pretty Earth-looking, too. What galaxy are we in? We're like, yeah, we're in the Milky Way, but we're like at the very far edge. Cool. Okay, so here's the deal. It's been a few days since I made that original recording for that episode, or episode 100, but a few people have made suggestions, and I'm gonna kind of patch these in and cut out the ending that I originally recorded to kind of, you know, get these guys in for the 100th episode. So let's go ahead and do that. This first suggestion is from Grounds. Let's go ahead and copy the ID here. And let's paste that in. So it's a desert with a big moon and a lot of small moons. And also giant, vibrant pink and purple rings. Ah, there's the big moon. I was looking for that. And let's just go and land right here on the sunset side of the moon. Just turned up or something. Things are glowing a lot. Oh, there's 2 stars. Okay, that's cool. Go ahead and touch down on this desert now. Right here. Yeah, so the stars are assumingly in this direction. There's one of the stars, and there's the other. And very pretty atmosphere. There's the large moon glowing up there. Rings kind of have a little bit of a glow too, along with the mountains in the background, so I don't know if I've turned up the volume since the last time I've recorded, but things are glowing quite a bit. Go ahead and just move that microphone a little bit closer to me. I'm not using a pop filter, so I'm kind of trying to talk a little bit away from the microphone, so I ain't just constantly making like plosives and stuff and popping the microphone and peaking it and all that kind of stuff. Got a volcano here, definitely active. And let's see those 2 stars rotate. Just go ahead and get the view just like this, and let's hit play and hopefully not rotate with the planet. Now you can see the planet rotating very rapidly under us, and you can see the stars going around each other. And as they block each other out, they dim out the planet for a moment. That's what that flash is. Because, well, there's just not light from 2 stars. They're eclipsing each other. So, very neat effect. Let's see if we can slow it down a little bit. And, can't quite. Let's slow it down, reverse it. Well, you got to see the dimming effect a little bit better. And there it goes. It doesn't really know what it's doing. It's kind of flickering up and down. But yeah, that's what happens when they eclipse each other. Neat effect. It looks like we're in the Milky Way galaxy. I just saw the small Magellanic Cloud right there. There's some good zoom on it. Thought that was about to crash the game, to be honest. And the large Magellanic Cloud's right behind the stars there. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Henry Petors, which I did say the person who suggested this one, right? This was LA Grounds. Anyways, let's get this ID copied from Henry here. Or Pretorius. Is that how that's pronounced? I know you've made suggestions before. I recall mispronouncing that name before as well. Let's see, we got a gas giant here. Big storm. Some interesting shadows from the rings. A glowing galactic center. It looks like we're in some kind of ring galaxy, perhaps? And there's the parenting star. So let me go ahead and extend this window so I can read the comment, and I accidentally just clicked the scroll bar. Let's see. Cool gas giant with a neat set of rings. Okay. Not much to view in the gas giant, because, well, once you go into a gas giant, this is all you see. So, not too much crazy stuff going on there. That's a neat little timescale effect if you have the time turned up and you're just rotating with the planet. Let's see. Yeah, that's very large, like, very far rings, which makes me think this is possibly a very dense gas giant, perhaps? I don't have a reference for what the, what would make it a dense gas giant, but, to have the moons break up into rings that far away like that? Would think that it would have to be a pretty dense gas giant, but I could be wrong. Let's see what's going on with this galaxy. Is this a ring galaxy? Go ahead and zoom out here. Oh, it's not. It's got like 2 arms. You can see the bar in the center there. But, wow, I think it just made my game crash. But yeah, it was like but it was like a spiral galaxy with 2 arms extending out the sides there. Interesting, I wasn't able to talk in the microphone while the game was loading, so that's the thing. This was at the end of the last original video. This next suggestion is from SR25 Burning Shot. Let's go ahead and get this ID in there. Get rid of that question mark. Hopefully you guys cannot hear that alarm in the background. But I am recording this at like sometime very early in the morning. Okay, we got a molten planet here. How bright is this? I'm gonna guess very bright. Orange luminous supergiant. Yeah. Right. I don't think you would be able to see very well at all. It would just be white and glowing and craziness like it's gonna be when we touch down. Yeah. Well, that's not as extreme as I thought it was going to be, but we are standing on a molten planet, and this is all lava, I think. Even though it has mountains generated in it, it uses the lava texture, which implies that it is a completely molten ball of lava. Perhaps? I do believe so. About the planet itself sitting at a temperature of 1021 degrees Celsius. And if you look at the nighttime sky, well, that further confirms that this is a molten planet and this is all lava, which the effect is exaggerated more on the nighttime side. Because you can't see the base texture, all you see is the map, the thermal emission map, that expresses that better. And you can see there is hellish red fiery clouds. Probably not water. So, yeah, very inhospitable world. Not something you'd be able to land on. Or even get near. It's a gas giant, or not gas giant, the star, for some reason it expanded for like a frame there. Bit odd. And what galaxy are we in? Can't tell. Might be just randomly generated. The star is too, so. So I don't think I have real planet brightness turned on. Do I? I don't. There we go. That's a bit better. That's more of what I was expecting. Go ahead and land where the sun is, well, I don't think it really sets. But let's go ahead and touch down right here. Yeah, that's a little bit more of the effect I was looking for. And you can see the light casted across the planet. That's the shadow of the planet right there. But I don't think the spot would be very shaded, given you can still see the like half the star. But oh well, lighting in this game is probably based on the center of the star, not so much how big the star actually is. It probably doesn't take that into account. But now that we're here, yeah, now we can't really see anything. You can see like the edge of the star right there. Let's get that off the screen. And if we back out and land like right here, well, looking in every direction, I cannot see anything. My screen is white. But I can promise you, I am panning the camera around. Which way is up? Oh, okay. Yeah, so. That's a bit more of what I was expecting by landing on the planet. Suggestion. This next one is from River for You, and no description found. Oh, okay. Dwarf. A little nebula in the background. Got a planet with life over here. Very dark planet with life. A collision between an elliptical type galaxy and a ring type galaxy. It froze a Titan with life. Marine and terrestrial. But it's so dark that we just can't see anything. It's got like a super thick atmosphere. Which is, I want to say very unusual for a Titan. Oh, we'll go ahead and turn off real planet brightness. Ah, the window's running away from me. Oh no. There we go. Got it. Got it, it's all good. Touchdown right here, and we got some pink life. Can't see outside of the super thick atmosphere. It says the atmospheric composition's all nitrogen, so this is like a big overcast of nitrogen all around the planet? It seems weird to me. This isn't usually an effect you see. This is kind of like on deserts. Not really so much Titans. That's a very odd Titan. Here we have a desert, a Mars-like desert, which I think is in binary with this Titan here. It certainly is. And it looks quite a bit like Mars. Go ahead and touch down here. Why is it so bright? Oh, I'm in the snow. It's like the desert here, so you can see the parameters for it. Also a composition of mostly nitrogen. And I would assume it's quite dim as well. Go ahead and fix that. There we go. That window keeps running away from me. That's gonna be a bit annoying. An active volcano, possibly caused by the tidal friction of that other planet, perhaps. And some lovely auroras. Very cool. Hit play so we can just kind of watch this all happen. Just because that's a very beautiful view. Fun fact, throughout the series I've always used these little breaks where I just show things moving to like go get a drink or something. Well, they always seem to last so long. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. It's from Gaming Cuber. I know you've made suggestions before. I haven't seen your name in quite a while. But it's a gorgeous warm Terra with unicellular life and gorgeous purple rings. Let's go ahead and paste that in. And here we go. Nice view of the galaxies as we pass through. Haven't seen them get that bright before, or in a while, since while transitioning through the galaxies. I want to leave time running for this one. This is the final suggestion, by the way. We got orange, purple, and pink rings. There we are in the Milky Way galaxy, it appears, and we're back in the game. I dropped my phone and my game crashed, so that's 2 crashes since this little re-recording. Probably because I turned the video settings up. I'm gonna keep messing around with the field of view. Okay, so we are in the Milky Way. Looks like we have a Selena moon there and another one there. Let's go ahead and touch down on the planet. So this has life, but it's marine life, so we won't be able to view it. Let's see. Noticed he posted a second suggestion. I don't know if he wants me to view that as well. Let's see, what was the description for the next suggestion? A fairly Earth-like world. Let's go ahead and visit that one. And see if it's kind of more colorful or something. Here we go. Ah yes, that is a much nicer looking world. Some purple life, blue water. Is that the parenting? No, it has 2 stars. Okay, looks like a couple of red dwarfs though. They are. I assume that's a red dwarf over there too? Yep. Binary with this one. Let's go ahead and touch down on the surface. Got a volcano, some lava spewing out, snowcap, barren area, and some life. And it stands way taller than all the surrounding mountains. Let's see. These are those like rounded kind of mountains, but they look a little bit more jagged than they normally do. And I assume they just go on forever. There we go. Found the edge one. Got some kind of canyon-like terrain, but it's not very deep, I guess. You can see it though. Generating kind of a weird pattern as well. Like, look at that tiled texture. Go ahead and go to the sunset side of the planet. There we go, right next to the polar cap as well. Really see the polar cap all that much, it's like way over there. Kind of a greenish sunset, it appears. Kind of Earth-like. What's the ESI of this planet? 92%. I wonder if the ESI is going to change in the next version of SpaceEngine, like if it's going to account to other parameters, not just like the size, for example, and atmospheric composition and pressure and all that. I wonder if it's going to factor like other things. I think we're going to close the video off on this planet right here. Go ahead and hit play. And get time moving a bit. There we go. We're at the pole, so we're probably going to just see the star kind of go in a circle. Wow, that looks ugly. Anyways. I don't think I'm going to completely end the series. There's nothing really stopping me from making an episode 101 in the future. It's just going to be a little while before I do. I'm really waiting for a new version of this game to come out, and then I might continue the series. But, for the most part, yeah, nothing really stops me from making an episode 101, so if you guys want to post suggestions down in the comments, that would be totally fine. And who knows, I might use them perhaps for a different project? Like maybe a Beauty of Space Engine episode or something like that in the future? I don't really know. But, yeah, just because I'm pretty much stopping the series for now doesn't mean that you guys can't post suggestions. And leave me suggestions for things like my animated videos and stuff like that. Like, what would you like to see in those videos, for example? What would be a good theme for them? I'm thinking about going beyond just like space theme and possibly like biology or geology or something like that. Or even stuff that happens on the internet. I don't really know. I don't think I'm just going to limit that series just to space. Anyways, if you guys like the video and like the series, leave the video a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.